Gold has captivated humanity for millennia, symbolizing wealth, power, and permanence. Its value endures beyond empires and currencies, making it the ultimate store of value. Central banks rely on gold to back their currencies and provide stability in times of crisis. Where a nation stores its gold is a statement of trust and sovereignty. Today, the European Union is questioning the wisdom of keeping its gold reserves in U.S. vaults as transatlantic trust wavers. The calls to bring Europe's gold home are growing louder, signaling a shift in the global order. After World War II, Europe's devastated nations faced a daunting task: rebuilding their economies and ensuring the safety of their most valuable assets. With much of the continent in ruins and political instability looming, European governments made a strategic decision to store their gold reserves in New York. The United States, untouched by the destruction of war and emerging as a global superpower, offered both security and convenience. The vaults of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York became a sanctuary for Europe's wealth, symbolizing a new era of transatlantic trust. The Bretton Woods system, established in 1944, cemented the US dollar as the anchor of global finance. Under this system, the dollar was directly linked to gold, and other currencies were pegged to the dollar. Gold reserves held in America became a powerful symbol of faith in US leadership and the stability of the international monetary system. For European nations, keeping their gold in New York was not just practical. It was a statement of confidence in the post-war order. This arrangement made international settlements smoother and more efficient, allowing countries to trade and invest with greater ease. The presence of gold in New York underpinned the global financial system, providing reassurance to markets and governments alike. It also reflected the deep cooperation between Europe and America, as leaders on both sides of the Atlantic worked together to rebuild and stabilize the world economy. But this era of certainty did not last forever. In 1971, the collapse of the Bretton Woods system shattered the old order. President Nixon's decision to end the dollar's convertibility to gold sent shockwaves through the financial world, forcing countries to rethink their strategies. Since then, the rise of a multipolar world, with new economic powers and shifting alliances, has transformed the global landscape. The simple logic of keeping gold in America no longer applies as it once did. The Soviet threat that once united the West has faded into history, replaced by a complex web of new economic and strategic challenges. Today, global summits and shifting alliances define the international order. Modern technology, digital finance, and evolving geopolitical realities have eroded the original reasons for keeping gold in America. The world is more interconnected, but also more unpredictable. Now, as Europe faces new uncertainties, its leaders are re-evaluating this decades-old trust, questioning whether their gold is safer across the Atlantic, or if it's time to bring it home in the cold light of today's realities. Across Brussels, a quiet but determined movement is gaining momentum. In the heart of the European Union, policymakers, economists, and citizens alike are beginning to question the wisdom of keeping their nation's gold reserves far from home, stored in vaults across the Atlantic. In European capitals from Paris to Berlin, Rome to Madrid, a consensus is forming, one that transcends political divides. The message is clear: it's time to bring the gold home, to reclaim a tangible symbol of national wealth and security. This growing movement is about more than just precious metal. It reflects a deep desire for economic sovereignty, a wish to reduce dependence on the US financial system, and a drive to ensure that Europe's future is firmly in European hands. In the past, countries like Germany and the Netherlands quietly repatriated their gold for technical reasons, routine audits, logistical updates, but today's push is different. It's bloc-wide, strategic, and openly discussed at the highest levels of government. The European Union now seeks direct control over its reserves, motivated by a growing fear that gold held in US custody could one day be used as leverage in diplomatic or economic disputes. The stakes are higher than ever. Recent events have only heightened these concerns. The freezing of Russian assets by Western powers has sent shockwaves through global financial circles, serving as a stark reminder that even close allies are not immune to the weaponization of finance. As a result, the debate in Europe has shifted dramatically. It's no longer a question of if the gold should be repatriated, but rather how and when this complex operation should take place. Policymakers are weighing the risks, logistics, and potential diplomatic fallout. Moving vast quantities of gold across borders is no small feat. It requires meticulous planning, secure transport, and international cooperation. Yet, despite these logistical challenges, the strategic imperative is clear and growing stronger by the day. Europe stands at a crossroads, ready to take greater responsibility for its financial security and independence. The push for repatriation is not just about gold. It's about shaping the continent's future on its own terms. At the heart of Brussels' demand is the drive for economic sovereignty. For decades, European nations have relied on international partners to store and safeguard their gold reserves, a practice rooted in the post-war era when trust in transatlantic alliances was unshakable. But times have changed, and so have the risks. European leaders now seek direct control over their gold, especially as financial sanctions and asset freezes become increasingly common tools of foreign policy. The ability to access and manage their own reserves, without external interference, is seen as a crucial pillar of national security and economic independence. The United States, once viewed solely as a steadfast ally, is now regarded as both a partner and a competitor. In this new landscape, gold held abroad, especially in American vaults, can quickly become a bargaining chip, or even a liability, if diplomatic relations sour or global tensions escalate. Gold remains the ultimate safe haven asset, prized for its ability to retain value through economic upheaval, currency devaluation, and inflation. Unlike digital assets or paper currencies, gold is tangible, universally recognized, and immune to cyber threats or political manipulation. Physical possession of gold offers a level of assurance and security that paper certificates or digital claims simply cannot match. For central banks and governments, holding gold within their own borders means they can act swiftly in times of crisis, without waiting for foreign approval or risking external seizure. Repatriating gold is also a strategic move to strengthen the euro's credibility as a global reserve currency. By backing the euro with tangible assets stored in Europe, policymakers hope to inspire greater confidence among international investors and trading partners. Consolidating gold on European soil sends a powerful message. The EU is committed to financial stability, resilience, and autonomy. It's a signal to the world that Europe is prepared to safeguard its interests in an unpredictable global environment. Ultimately, this move is not just defensive. It's a proactive step toward a more balanced and multipolar global financial system, where no single power holds all the cards, and Europe's voice is stronger than ever. Brussels' call for repatriation comes as gold prices hit record highs amid global instability. Persistent inflation and a shaky U.S. economy have made gold more attractive than ever. The U.S. government shutdown and manufacturing slowdown have raised doubts about American reliability. Central banks are under pressure to protect national wealth as currencies erode. The rising price of gold reflects a collective flight to safety. For Europe, bringing gold home is both a reaction to current risks and a proactive shield against future shocks. The urgency is real. Yesterday's theoretical risks are today's tangible concerns. Physical possession of gold is now at the top of Europe's agenda. Moving Europe's gold from U.S. vaults would send shockwaves through global markets. Even discrete transfers would spark speculation and volatility in gold prices. The move signals a vote of no confidence in the dollar's dominance. Other nations may follow Europe's lead, accelerating a shift away from U.S. financial stewardship. The logistical challenges are immense, but Europe is willing to pay the price for security. The real impact is on trust. The post-war order built on American leadership is eroding. Mass repatriation would make visible the growing divide between Europe and the U.S. The movement of gold marks a new, uncertain era in international finance. The gold repatriation push comes amid escalating trade and diplomatic tensions between the EU and US tariffs, and threats have poisoned economic diplomacy, making cooperation difficult. The US administration's transactional approach has forced Europe to seek strategic autonomy. Europe is preparing retaliatory tariffs, deepening mistrust. The risk of holding assets in the US has fundamentally changed. American threats make it hard to trust U.S. institutions as neutral custodians. For Brussels, Bringing gold home is a geopolitical necessity. It's a defensive move against an ally behaving more like a competitor. Europe's gold repatriation signals a fundamental shift in the global financial order. For the US, it challenges the dollar's exorbitant privilege and global influence. For Europe, it's a step toward strategic autonomy and a stronger euro. The move empowers Brussels to act independently on the world stage. The future may be more fragmented, with trust replaced by verification and physical control. Nations are prioritizing tangible assets over digital promises. The journey of Europe's gold is a symbol of the changing world order. The old system is fading. A new era of global finance is dawning.